who has landed in New Haven. So excited that you all decided to stop here in our wonderful city and spread your mission for peace and nonviolence. And also thank you to the organizers of the event for inviting me to speak today. My name is Adrienne Huck, and I'm a climate organizer. I serve as the co-founder of the New Haven Climate Movement Youth Action Team and the youth coordinator at the Climate Health Education Project here in New Haven. In 2020, I was introduced to the U.S. federal budget breakdown pie chart through volunteering with the City of New Haven Peace Commission. It became clear to me at that moment that the United States values destruction over all else, with a bloated military budget of over $770 billion. Coming from the background of being a climate organizer, I was drawn to then explore the connections between militarism and climate change, and what I would learn would then strengthen my commitment to activism on both peace and climate action. From learning about the major contributions of greenhouse gas emissions by military operations to the legacy of toxic military waste, I came to the realization that we cannot achieve true climate and environmental justice without significantly demilitarizing our approach to defense. My hope is that other climate activists can also infuse anti-war views into their activism in order to truly fight for the well-being of our planet and our people. At this moment, these topics are not often discussed in the same circles, and the UN has yet to discourage militarism in their urgent pleas for nations to cut carbon emissions each year. Militarism greatly degrades the environment and contributes directly to climate change. Our U.S. Department of Defense is the world's largest institutional user of petroleum and correspondingly the single largest producer of greenhouse gas emissions in the world. The U.S. military produces 59 million metric tons of greenhouse gas emissions annually, which is more than entire industrialized countries such as Sweden. Next, maintaining our carbon-intensive infrastructure and gas-guzzling equipment across the 750 U.S. military bases around the world has a tremendous carbon footprint. The U.S. military has emitted over 1.2 billion metric tons of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere since 2001. Plus, huge environmental injustices and health hazards are present where we wage war. Most military bases store large quantities of dangerous tools containing hazardous waste, resulting in tens of thousands of polluted sites, both in our country and of course abroad, which have caused widespread poisoning in humans and animals, with little oversight in the ones abroad. The fossil fuel industry is also greatly intertwined with U.S. militarism, since the U.S. serves as a key customer to the industry in order to power its machinery. Finally, when we overinvest in the military, we underinvest in areas such as human needs and environmental sustainability. For some statistics, compared to the $6.4 trillion spent on war in the last 20 years, the cost of shifting the U.S. power grid to 100% renewable energy is estimated to be $4.5 trillion. So instead of funding endless wars, we could have shifted off of our country's fossil fuel reliance with plenty of money to spare. In 2020, the federal military budget was 272 times larger than the budget for energy efficiency and renewable energy. Plus, that year, they also spent 16 times more on military than they did for diplomacy and humanitarian aid. This underfunding of aid, it has terrible implications for the climate crisis, since it is a global problem that depends on international cooperation. To bring this locally, this year, New Haveners are paying $206 million in taxes towards the federal military. From a climate standpoint, for example, this could have powered all the households in our city with solar electricity for 14 years. Even more damaging than typical warfare, we must also discuss the impact of nuclear war on climate